Hey everyone, welcome to day 23 of the Sparks Change Challenge. Cannot believe it's day 23 already. Unfortunately, I am still a little bit under the weather and have not had too much chance for spontaneity and entertainment the last couple of days in particular, but feeling a little bit better. We're maybe at like a 5 or a 6 now, so um, up for the live streams, but yes, not quite up for spontaneity and entertainment. So I thought we'll go with my favorite topic to talk about uh, in all domains, and that is dogs, because I can talk about them no matter how I'm feeling. and but there is a connection. There is a point to talking about dogs in the domain of spontaneity and entertainment. So, for those who don't know, there's probably not too many of you left who don't know, but my husband Matt and I, we have three dogs. We have two cats and an axolotl and a bearded dragon and a bunch of fish and all of that kind of thing. But we also foster dogs. We foster through Beagle Rescue Victoria. Ironically enough, we've only had like two beagles through them. We've had every other breed imaginable. We've adopted from them. Um, but never actually adopted a beagle from them. But we do a lot of work with them with their puppy farm dogs, ex-breeding dogs from puppy farms, and we tend to do good work with the dogs who are quite shut down. Um, our existing pack, if you like, tends to be pretty good with those dogs. We don't tend to work with too many of the dogs who are displaying aggressive or fight tendencies from that flight fight response. We work with generally the freezers or the runners, and I love doing that work. It's very challenging at times. And it really does break your heart sometimes to see some of these dogs and just how shut down and how non-dog like they are when they first arrive. And but the one of the things that is so amazing about fostering or adopting a dog who's had a bit of a trauma history is when you start to see the real personality emerge. And in dogs in particular, you know that you're starting, that routine, that structure, that safety that you're putting into place is starting to have an effect when they start to show spontaneous play or any kind of play. So many of the dogs when they first arrive, they're terrified of other dogs, they're terrified of humans. If you try to, throw the ball for them, they just look at it like, what is this thing? They've never had the chance to play. They don't really understand play. And usually one of the first signs that your rehabilitation program is working for them is you'll start to see little play bows and little play language that says, oh, I think I want to play. You'll also see the part of you see this constant struggle almost for a while between, oh, that looks like fun, I kind of want to join in, and no, I'm still terrified that something bad is going to happen if I do that. But gradually you see more and more of the play and more of the personality start to emerge. And as is my way, that got me thinking about this self-care domain and how quickly we forget or neglect our own spontaneity and play because life gets in the way. Whether that's through illnesses, whether that's through work, um, but maintaining that sense of spontaneity and play is quite impossible if at the end of the day you're not feeling safe. If that inner child, that relationship with the vulnerable parts of yourself that we've been trying to talk about and nurture throughout this whole challenge, if that part's not happening, if that inner vulnerable child part doesn't feel safe, then just like the shut down foster dogs, it's very, very hard for it to let loose. It's very, very hard for it to let go and have some fun because it just fundamentally doesn't feel safe. So this is again where all of the domains kind of come into play. If we don't have the safety and the boundaries in place, it's very, very hard to really fully experience that spontaneity and play. And I have noticed again, usually when I get sick or from having a bad flare, the spontaneity and the entertainment is definitely one that suffers because I'm not really up for going out or socializing or anything like that. But since I've been doing this challenge, and since I, very conveniently have been flaring for half of this challenge now, it's given me a chance to explore those areas of my personality, or those areas of the inner child, and sort of say, okay, well, even if you're sick, even if you can't do X, Y, and Z, what can you do to still foster that spontaneity? And that was something like, on the weekend, we had plans to go out with some friends. It became clear I wasn't going to be physically able to do that, but I still very much wanted to catch up with those friends. They were one of the ones that we'd booked in a time when I was talking about the relationship challenge and prioritizing connections with people that are on your, yeah, we should catch up, we should catch up, we should catch up. Well, we'd finally put in the date, and then it looked like I wasn't going to be up for it. But instead of just canceling, which is what I would normally do, I messaged them and said, look, I'm really sorry, but I'm not feeling terribly well. It's nothing infectious. It's just my normal immune stuff. Um, would you mind, do you want to come to our place? And instead of going out for lunch and doing X, Y, and Z, just come here, and we can order some food in and just have a chill afternoon. If you're up for it. If you'd rather wait until we can all go out again later, that's fine, but still would really like to see you guys. And if you're up for that, that would be great. And they were up for that, and we did that, and it was awesome. And even though, yeah, I wasn't feeling the best, they were very, very nice, very understanding about it. But I still got to see them. I still got to have a bit of fun, and have a few laughs, and that felt really, really good. Um, Last night, when I was feeling really unwell, and decided not to do the video, I was kind to myself about that. Normally I would beat myself up a fair bit for that, but I didn't. I was just like, this is what's got to happen. This is just, I'm not going to be doing anybody any favors by pushing through and trying to string a coherent sentence together. So I did that, and Matt and I watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine on the couch, and I love that show. I think that it's really funny, it's really silly, and that was my version of spontaneity, doing something that just was just about fun and silly, and not putting any pressure on myself to get certain things done, or to kind of push through anyway. So, and I think a big part of that, and being able to do that, was the thing that's really changed for me over the course of this challenge, is realizing that, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's almost like the that inner child part is feeling a little bit safer, because she's like, oh, you're finally getting it. Oh, you're finally being nice to me. I can maybe trust you. Like, it's something shifting there for me in terms of safety, I think. Feeling safe enough to talk about all of this sort of stuff publicly, but yeah, but also to protect that part and start treating her a little bit better, seems to be translating to things like spontaneity, things like playfulness being a bit easier, feeling a bit freer. It's an interesting shift. Um, and I'm curious to see what happens when I stop doing the videos and stop doing like the daily reflection and that kind of thing, how I'm going to keep that going. But yeah, like I said, I saw a lot of parallels with that crossover between safety and spontaneity in what's happening for me this month, but it's illustrated so well and so perfectly in what happens with the foster dogs. So I thought, what I'll do after this is, I'm going to post a video into the Tools of the Trade group on, it's a year with Sophie. So Sophie's been with us just over a year, and I did up a little video for her gotcha day, sort of showing the progress that she's made. And I'll also share a little video of her being fully spontaneous and goofbally. And when you think about, if you watch those, think about her when she first arrived. She would hide in the hallway. She needed the lights off, and she would try and tuck herself as tight as she could into the corner. She couldn't make eye contact, and even just hearing us approach was quite terrifying. And she would shake and drool, and it was bad. Through to the video that I'm going to share tonight, and the beautiful personality that is emerging and the playfulness that is emerging as she feels progressively safer. We're getting progressively more playful, which is quite funny. So I will share those into the group. That's just something to enjoy that and to illustrate that point of, as safety increases, spontaneity and playfulness can increase as well. So if we purposely concentrate and focus on increasing spontaneity and playfulness, does that also then help us to feel more safe? Just an interesting question, I think, to pose and to think about. So that's it from me for this evening. Tomorrow's domain will be back on to safety and boundaries. So maybe that is a good sort of chicken and egg segue there. And I look forward to reading your comments. And thank you again for the messages and the emails. It's lovely to hear how other people are taking some of this stuff on board. It's really cool. All right, thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow night. Bye.